What's going on, everybody? James here, and Jen. AdoptionAgency.com, 22 years selling full-time on eBay. And, well, vacation is just about over. We are leaving in the morning, so pulled all the stuff out, and we're going to get it packed up and compacted so it fits in the car. But wanted to make a video, we're just going to show some of the stuff also, but I kind of want to talk about the Q4 or the Q3 earnings, eBay earnings, a little bit about what I've seen on that. I haven't really read in depth into it or anything. And then I read a few lines to her, so she knows a little bit. Mm-hmm. And just going to kind of brainstorm here because
that's about all we can do.
It's unfortunate that we are where we are today because of the changes that eBay is making. Personally, I still don't see it as a long-term thing that it's going to work, but at least probably for the next 5 years, we're going to have to figure it out. And toward the end of this video, I want to give you a new change I am doing, something that I think a lot of you appreciate this channel for, and that is the fact that I can test things on a bigger scale and try something new and see if there's patterns.
As opposed to some of you part-time sellers who can't just finagle and change this and change that and try to come up with the same
because they don't have a big enough
by
scale.
not having as many listings.
But so what I kind of took away from the Q3 earnings is it was up 2%, which is not really a lot when you think about it. Especially from second quarter into third quarter. I want to throw out some facts here that kind of make it off for me. So third quarter is July, August, and September, right?
It's vacation time as well.
Well, here's what I'm going to get at.
It's our slowest area.
Here's what I'm going to get at. If I asked you July, August, September, which month do you think is the slowest, the busiest, and the middle one? What do you think the slowest would be?
I think July would be the slowest because June is vacation time and August is back to school time. Possibly a distraction there, but sometimes looking for things on eBay. But I say July would be probably...
So you say July, August, September in that order. Slow, grow into fourth quarter.
July, August, and then I guess September, yeah. But I don't know
Now, what would you think on your history of doing this? Now, from my history of knowing the books and the numbers, that has been the history. Mm-hmm. June, July, always the slowest months of the year. And then it starts building back up. August, as you said, back to school, September, and it starts building. This year, total opposite. July was the biggest month. August was the second biggest month. September was the worst month. Totally opposite of what should be happening and what has happened in the past. Does that shock you?
It does. My only brain spinning idea is, okay, well, inflation, less money in the pocket, and perhaps people are just holding on to it, and maybe they're saving everything that they have for the back to school, for the dance lessons, for the soccer team, and all those extras that families, and for the holidays too. People spend their money.
And here's some more facts that go into play here. When you look at July, August, and September, if you remember back to September for me was the biggest month that I had customers reaching out to me saying they couldn't check out on eBay, they couldn't send offers, they could not accept the offers that I sent them. So for me, the lowest month of that quarter was actually also the most troubled month when it comes to consumers trying to buy from the eBay store. So I do believe that I've always said the perfect storm. I feel like there might be there's definitely some economy mixed in there, but there's other variables that are causing these issues also. So that kind of even trickled into October too. And if you think back, if I remember correctly, September, they actually had 2 major site downs in that month. That
I do remember.
Where
Yeah,
it
there
just
was
totally
some
crashed for
a week,
good period, not a week, but hours.
Hours.
Which is,
Well, that's about a week if
which
you had
is
to add it all
unacceptable.
up. Probably, no.
But these problems with the people checking out, customers not being able to check out, you would think that if that happened for a week, that would be a problem. Well, it actually has happened for actually several months. And September was just like the peak of it. And then it had rolled over into October also. And even here in November, there is still clearly something wrong in the offer department. I know that 100%. I'm still getting feedback from consumers about the offers and some just janky stuff going on there. So yes, that's kind of the facts that play into, in my opinion, the earnings and the numbers not being where I mean, 2% up for a $1 billion company. I don't. And when Amazon is, I haven't looked at Amazon's earnings, but from what I understand, they've going up.
Your average company's been between 5 and 12% increase in the last year, and that's in pretty much all type of retail settings. So 2% is nothing. And are their earnings down because they have to spend so much money on outsourcing software people or whatever? Who knows?
That could be too. I mean, I didn't look into the details of the earnings, but how much are they putting into all these changes they're making to the site and trying to fix the site almost on a daily basis, it seems. So
the number one thing though, and everybody still guesses at it, what is that magical algorithm that puts sellers right at the top? And as hard as you try to think and storm, Adrian, our son who ships for the business, he's got a master's degree in analytics, and he can't look at it and give me a clue or anything like that. So I know all of you out there have tried very hard to try to figure out what is that golden equation to kick your sales and to keep growth going with your little business.
And I think the one thing I took that I've heard, saw a couple of people comment that the CEO of eBay stated is they're basically pushing out smaller dollar things. The thing that created eBay, in my opinion, they're walking away from it. Now, when I actually heard that was pretty much his words, that's where I just came to a stop and said, okay, something's got to change. 100%, something's got to change. Got to try something totally different that I've never done before. Start thinking differently, think outside the box. But before we get into the changes I'm going to make with the store and playing around with testing instead of just doing like a sudden change, because I want to see if there's any information I can learn from these little tweaks that I'm going to share with you that can benefit you guys also into your store. So yeah, that statement alone made me stop and said, you know what? It's time to stop complaining. It's going to be this way for at least, why I'm saying at least 5 years is because I personally don't see this as a long-term thing. If you're going to get away from what's created eBay since 1995 and try to push into an area where I don't think you're going to be able to get those people expensive watches, I don't see that happening. Not, at least not in the aspect of of the amount of small sellers compared to. I don't see it personally.
And so also too, anybody selling that kind of a high dollar item, they're not going to look at it on eBay. They want to see it in person. And I'm not sure I understand when people do sell a car and they do sell them on eBay. I'm sure the person goes out there probably to see the vehicle
more times than normal.
But I don't know if somebody would drive out for an expensive
there are people
watch,
who will get a car sent with sight unseen, but you've seen a lot of that in like some of the car restoration shows and stuff. No, I'm talking about in the car restoration shows where they have done that because they needed a car to as a donor car or as to rebuild for a customer, and they ended up getting something worse than what they were presented, and they kind of regretted doing it. So eBay does not have a history of 100% trust when it comes to situations. And if you're going to spend 10K on a watch, you're going to go to, in my opinion, an auction house or a reputable seller of some sort.
Who shopped the hardest?
How about we look at this and then we'll get into what I've done. I've already made a change, and we're only, I guess, 9 hours into that change. So it really, but I'll let you know what's going on. But let's show some stuff. We've got a lot of stuff here. So I got to get this packed into the car nice and neatly. The cool thing about a lot of the time when we travel is I try to find unique items to the area, or I will, we don't always hit bins. And if I do, I've been concentrating more on clothes. We hit
the bins on the way down here, and wouldn't you say it was somewhat of a disappointment? I would say St. Louis bins got a little more. I don't know.
I don't look at any sourcing as a disappointment.
But they didn't have as many resellers, though.
I'm going to be able to make money, so it's not a disappointment to me because I love to do it. So, but I don't know, where the hell do we start?
How about
those were at the bins.
Harley Davidson gloves.
Harley Davidson leather gloves. Somebody asked about the Conway Twitty mug. So we got Conway Twitty with Twitty City on that. This was at the bins, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was at the bins. Did this even have a name? No, Open Road something. Home Accents 69. This was at the bins. Hobby Lobby piece, so I'm going to always grab those, especially when they're that cheap.
That was interesting. I didn't even see
that. Yeah, I picked this up at I think one of the thrift stores in Nashville for $4.99.
And it's your famous tool belt.
It's brand new. It's koozies for beer, but I think they're listed at like $35 or whatever. But
where'd you buy this? Where'd you get this?
You forgot the other part of it.
Oh, that's. I remember you said you found the lid.
I don't even know why I grabbed that.
Maybe because it's a candy dish, or
I grabbed this and it wasn't $3.99 because I don't think I would have paid $3.99 for it. It says Carella 83 on the bottom. I don't know, something just made me grab it. I'm not sure why. I didn't look it up, so I don't know. That could be a total waste.
Jack Daniels bubble.
Jack Daniels bubble gum. A lot of the clothes we bought was 99 cents or cheaper. Obviously, at the bins are a little bit cheaper than that. But we came across a lot of places where we got clothing for 99 cents. So
something like that.
Got tons. I mean, we
tons
got
of t-shirts,
stacks and stacks of clothing.
Even some of the dress are the nicer polos. The jeans, $2-3 a piece, so not too bad.
We didn't pay that much for jeans, did we? I hope
not. No, I did it for the one pair. I bought them for myself, and then they're too big. So, well, I'm sure you might be able to sell. Well,
I like getting local things wherever we go. So we're in the Smoky Mountains. So I found these vintage Pigeon Forge Tigers shirts, and I've sold Pigeon Forge Tiger apparel before that I got down here for some from last year. So I went ahead and picked up these vintage pieces. They were like $1 a piece. Of all things, found the vintage vinyl St. Louis record store t-shirt along with the vintage ZZ Top shirt and Fetterman. Richard, what's his name? RF. Maybe Richard Fetterman. Is it Richard Fetterman?
No.
I don't remember, but those go for decent money. I don't remember his name.
Are you talking about a tennis player?
Is it? It might be.
It's not Fetterman.
It's a sports guy, I know. This cool plush here, kangaroo. National Geographic. This was at the bins, so I had to get that. So that's cool.
Since we only have a Wally's in St. Louis, you have to go to the real truck stop. And we did have to go to Buc-ee's.
Somebody was asking about the size on that. That is a large.
And it was from the bins or resale. It wasn't actually from Buc-ee's. Everything's so expensive in there.
Mothman. Black Matter t-shirt. This was something, and I looked it up, and they were, I think if I remember correctly, in like $25 area. This artist, Brian Reddy, Black Matter, his designs on his shirts.
Decorative flags with the NHL. Were these from the bins or were we getting
No, that
them
was
out of
from the
thrift
Goodwill
store?
down here.
And they were 99 cents a piece.
They were 99 cents, and it's one of those things that were a closeout thing, and they had probably like 50 of them, 60 of them, and I grabbed 30.
It's the flyers.
It's one of those things, 99 cents a piece. They're banner decorative flags
It's a fan thing.
that I'll put in. When Fanatics sold them, they were selling them for I think $23 or $24. So I'll put them up for like $19.99.
And it's football season, so everybody's got to get, a cold scarf. There was some. Wait a minute. We're into the seasons now, so go ahead and grab this season of basketball with the Golden State Warriors.
We got the Sega Genesis found at the bin. Somebody threw it back. Got all the cords, 2 controllers, and a Sonic game. I can't believe somebody threw that back.
When we were at the bins, he was in one direction, I was in another direction. I kind of stayed away from the crowd. When they brought the new ones out, James doesn't mind the fights. I'd rather have the leftovers.
I did a quick search on this. This was at the bins, Westdorf, or something like that. But the whole sets were like $200 and $300. So I went ahead and grabbed that because it's in great condition.
Warrior.
Huh?
My Golden State Warrior and your kangaroo.
There you show
So
the
we
camera.
always get anything sports-wise. T-shirts especially.
See if there's anything special jumping out at me. We've got a Metallica Master of Puppets t-shirt. But I'll probably keep that for myself. Oh, we got some vintage cool hats here. Got California Angels signatures, snapback. Got, I have no idea who this is yet, but it's Major League Baseball. MB. I don't think it's anything to do with Milwaukee. So I'll have to figure it out. I'll just Google it. And his vintage trucker Cincinnati Reds cap. So that was good. Good finds there. This guy's cool. I was walking around with him on. I'll walk into the camera the way I was walking around the store with him.
Yeah, it took a minute for me to notice.
I was walking around the store with this guy, like, punching bags.
And the feet.
How cool is that?
Who
I
makes
paid
them?
$16 for him. I paid up for him at this church thrift store. But it was, here's the tag, TL Toys. And somebody had this one up for, I want to say $55. And if I recall the brand TL Toys, all their plushes were decent dollar amounts. So I went ahead and paid up for that. Plus he's pretty kick-ass. So...
we got football Buccaneers.
Didn't get that many hats.
That was the disappointment
got a
for me. The
decent
bins
stack
didn't
of
have a lot
hats.
of hats.
Let's see. And a lot of common t-shirts since they were only $1 a piece.
I got some anime that I'd find. Got a jersey there.
Chris Jansen. I'm not sure who that is.
Maybe somebody.
Texas Longhorn.
You know what? This is, I
here
think,
you
Country Star, and this is from 2019. Started out in Austin, Texas.
Where's the bags we got today? Where did I put them?
Get those.
I carried them in. Found this vintage women's Reebok jacket. So that was cool. I paid up for this. Paid $12 for it. No, $10 for it. But a lot of these are like little church places, so they, the money goes to good use. So I don't mind paying $10 for a jacket, and I paid 12 for this one. And it's the Eddie Bauer EbTech, I believe it's pronounced. Very cool purple. I love purple. I sell these all the time when I get them at the bins, so went ahead and paid up for that.
He never wears a jacket anyway.
These two jackets will probably go up for about $50-$60 a piece.
These are a pair of Talbot jeans, and they were in good condition. Still has the threading on it where the tag was ripped off.
Here's some of the bags.
I think it was a bigger size, so sometimes a bigger size or super small size is hard to find.
So all this other stuff on the table and what we just showed you, this is stuff before I started thinking differently. So
right, but I always get the ornaments, and
she's got
I
tons of
turned
Christmas
down
ornaments.
today at was it
there's this.
at Carm, which is supposed to be like a thrift store,
Yes, it does have that on there.
but everything's overpriced.
So
Awesome.
we
saw this
found
for
we
$150.
found a couple of these today
For $150,
at a
$125.
thrift store that kind of prices eBay prices, and they had $150 on them. Not the Texans, but other ones. But Riddell, where did I get? I think this was the bins.
Is that, yeah, because we had it earlier.
Yeah, I think that was bins.
Um,
But so all this stuff that you're seeing was before I made the decision. But for the most part, it's all going to fit into the new way of thinking in any way. I'll pull more out if I remember something. Look for it.
It gave me ideas
We had that
on
Bose
prices.
stereo system that we picked up on the way down here, which could be a $500 piece. Paid $40 for it. I got a Laserdisc DVD Pioneer player for $12 if it works. If not, I can probably still make money off of it because those are people repair those.
And at the bins, because we don't always have the bags with us, we always buy something that we can put a lot of the merchandise in and also resell. So if it's a backpack or a sports bag, a Nike, what have you, we go ahead and pick them up if they're in good condition, and then that way we've got our bag carrier.
So while we were out today, I'm in that new mindset. So I don't really like going to the Carm stores, and it put her in a totally bad mood today. And I had to go, stop. You got to think now differently. And the way I always think going into these places anyway is not everybody knows everything. You're going to find something somewhere, everywhere.
And I think James doesn't understand because it's considered a thrift store. The disappointment to me is not so much the high prices, but there is people that don't really know. It's not really a thrift store, and they overmark everything.
To give you an idea, their t-shirts $9.99.
Right.
And I told her to look at it like this. People look at my eBay store and think that same thing.
But these people, it's where they probably don't even do internet from the small towns around here. They go there and they believe they're at a thrift store and they're getting something for a good price, but lack of knowledge or not even going into some of the Goodwills. I felt bad for the people that just went in there with that misconception that they're getting a bargain. That's my frustration with them.
And that's of course obviously opinion there. You don't
Right.
know what a person's really thinking. But so when we were going out today, we hit the Carm store and I did find stuff. So I put in the time. Sometimes I'll walk into those stores and I'll be like, I don't like the one we walked into near Knoxville. I'm just like, I'm not in the mindset for this. I just want to look for bargains, bought them dirt cheap. And that was on the way down here before rearranging my thinking. But so we found her.
Barbara Mandrell's sister.
Yes, Louise Mandrell. And this is a Winterfest down, and it's autographed, but mail carrier. And one's up on eBay. It's the only one online. Somebody had it up for $25 without the hat. And it was used. I can probably sell, I don't know if I can sell her new because she don't have no shoes on. I'm guessing she would have came with shoes.
This is a 3 Dog Night tour t-shirt from 2018.
And I did pay $6 for it. So
a little more than what we usually pay, but
and then this t-shirt,
it's in good condition though.
This Carm store actually had a few t-shirts at $7.99. So I did pay $7.99 for this concert t-shirt. But the only reason I did is because nobody has this one up. I know in 2018, 3 Dog Night's not a big band. It wasn't in any way a big tour.
They're from
So
the
how many
70s.
of these were produced and out there? So
and,
I'll
and
put it
still
up.
out there because that's a long time ago.
So I'll put it up for like $50 and just wait for that right person to come along on that. Was able to find some shoes. I found these Air Max size 15s. Not much wear on them. So these will probably go up for, I don't know, $60, $70 right here. So I paid up on the shoes, paid $20 a piece for them, but going into that new mindset. And then these Nike, I forget what they were called exactly, but these women's shoes, $20. And I believe these are going to be about, I want to say 60, I don't remember exactly, but I looked them up.
They're in good shape too.
Then I am at the Carm store. I found these Fila's with the
Flower design.
roses embroidered in. Paid 15 for these. Somebody had a pair up,
Is it 70?
49, I think. So, and then picked up a couple of CDs. Jan was looking at the CDs, so she handed me this one. Somebody's got one up for like $160, not sealed.
$159.99.
And this is the typical CDs that I like to grab when I'm out places like this. Little independent artists from wherever it is, and you put them up for a big price and just wait for that right person to come along. Since only one person had it up for crazy, $167, I'll put this up for like $99.99 sealed and just wait for that person. And then she pulled up this one.
Jazz guy.
99 cents for this, and I think it was like a $12 one. So nothing major there.
More than the average.
I almost passed on that one. Did we hit another thrift store? We hit today? We hit.
No, we just went to Carm. We went to the Christmas tree shop. We went to the outlet mall.
Okay.
This is the first time outlet mall, Coach Outlet Mall, and we turned around and walked back out. Only because we've always bought something whenever we take a trip up here. They have good sales. However, there were nothing new, and their Christmas theme was Mickey Mouse. And since we had even bought the mouse leather, how big are those? Off of the store shelves that are up on display one year, and that was what, 10 years ago maybe? I'm not sure. And we still have those. We probably ought to put them up. I don't even know if they're still up.
I only got one left.
Oh, you sold one. So there was
We
a
bought-
mini and
Did we buy 3 or 2?
not sure, but got myself a new pair. Shoes are hard for me, but there is the advantage. I can look at a low men's size. I can buy a youth 7, or I can buy a woman's 8.
Now these, if you don't know, sneakers are a expensive shoe. We ended up paying $200 a piece for these, but resale wise, they're going to be $400, maybe even $500, depending on the size and the time. Now they're pushing like $350 to $500, I believe. So I'm not sure if I'll wear mine or if they'll eventually go in my store, but they are kind of cool. So
I probably won't wear mine, but being a 7 youth, or maybe it was a men's small size. Yeah, it was a 7 youth. I don't know too many parents that's going to pay that kind of money for their kids' tennis shoes, unless it's somebody like me that wears and collects tennis shoes. So,
well, I guess that's what we're 28 minutes.
I'll throw a couple items up on the Christmas items, just so.
And other little things I like grabbing, like some vintage mugs. This one's got mom all the way around it.
A few of the places we went to, I would take a couple bags of ornaments, and maybe they were like 99 cents each or $2 and something else, and I'd ask them if they would take $5 for everything, and they're like, yes. So we also got some stockings. Sorry you guys can't see these.
Her and her Christmas stuff.
Yeah, but they're going up for sale. But there was a very cool jacket James found. I don't remember where he got this. And that's my team. But if you want to model it.
Let me model this. Happy birthday Mr.
Okay, so there's some things James doesn't realize, but that
It's
is not
Liz
a bra.
Claiborne, and it's cool.
It's Liz Claiborne and it's cool, that's fine, but it is a swimming suit, so the other half is missing. Even though some people, he thought it was a bra.
See, she's
So,
down this, so watch. This is going to be the first
It'll
thing
probably
it
sell
sells.
right away.
But I grabbed this at the bins. I had to get this. I wish it was my size because I'd wear it.
It's a cool coat.
How cool is that? That's the name.
Lansfay, I don't know. I looked, there are a
That's
lot
cool.
of other items, not a lot, but unique type of items by that
I
company
want
that are
that
up.
to fit me.
Oh, I found this clown.
Oh yeah, that's cool, clown.
A little scary though.
He's awesome.
He is.
Got the vintage Reebok jacket. This was to pay. I think red tags were half off at this place, so that was like a $350 jacket.
And senior discount too.
Oh yeah, we've been getting senior discounts because of her old ass.
I turned 60 this year. I always forget to ask, so.
Picked up this for I think it was $250, but Arnold Palmer, Puma.
I don't know if
Polo.
he's always been on Puma label. I don't think so.
No, this one, and I think I found one. I think it was around $40, if I remember correctly. Oh, and then I got the John Michael Talbot. He's a Christian artist with Terry Talbot and Barry McGuire, and it is autographed by at least two of them. So I picked that up for $350. I paid up for that one.
Quite a bit of stuff. Oh, some coats. Some
that is.
Converse. We always pick up the Converse there if they're in good shape. Louder Than Life.
Oh, okay. Corn, Stain,
Oh
Cypress
yeah, I
Hill,
remember. I picked this up and I saw
Judas
the bands
Priest,
on it,
Metallica. Nice.
and it was 2021. So this, I don't know where it might have been. I guess one of the festivals, and if they were able to grab a shirt from the festival.
I don't know
that's
where it
pretty
is
cool.
too. I also picked up a Kid Rock Cruise
Yeah.
t-shirt, so that was cool.
I don't know where that one is. You got a doll here. Oh, I grabbed this one because I couldn't find this particular.
I didn't look it up,
manufacturer.
so if this is a stinker, it's on her. But
It
if
is,
it's a winner, it's on her.
It's called Seppi Ratty and then there's a bigger manufacturer of Seppi Ratty.
Porcelain. Usually
and
porcelains are crap, though, so we'll see.
The dolls were up there.
But it is in there, so we'll see. You paid
Some money.
$5.99 for this?
I got my discount.
You're fired.
Oh well. Oh, good. Can I get my unemployment now?
But all right, I guess that's enough for now for
We
these.
got some.
Oh, well. So in the one thrift store, I was seeing this bag and I found this bag and perfect setting. Do you recognize that car? If you don't, you'll recognize one that goes with that car. The General Lee. So these are from like the 1980s. I had these when I was a kid. And these things are in beautiful condition for their age.
What do you mean?
So they're going to be about $15 a piece.
I had the original generally in my garage. That was years ago when we had a garage.
No, we did not have originals. We had
No.
a newer Charger. But so yeah, that's enough for now, I guess. I'll have individual videos, I guess, before I put these up on the Urban Picker channel. But so what the new way of thinking with what's going on with eBay. So what am I going to sit around and make complaining videos for the next 5 years, right? It's either do that or change. Start something different, figure it out, and do whatever. So I had a thought. I go,
Oh, wait a minute. Let them know how much I badger you about your 30% off sale and this and that.
she's always on me, but of course I see
Just change it.
what kind of works and what kind of, makes sales happen.
I don't think you saw a difference. Remember, you took it off for so many hours. You put it back on right before we
I
went for
always put it
vacation.
back on because of the results. So this time there is no going back, but that does not mean I won't do 30% off on certain. Let me get into more details. What's going on? So half of my store is under $10. Half of my store is over $10. If they're going to start getting away, not pushing stores that have low dollar items, those items are going to get buried on eBay, as they clearly have been in my store for quite a while now. When I heard the earnings, I'm like, okay, when I heard that one statement, I'm like, all right, what can I do to change things up? Now, of course, first thought is end all the low dollar items. Just end them, get rid of them, box them up, put them in lots, and start doing it that way.
That's a lot of work. And my thought was, can't you just freeze them, set them over there, take them out of the store, but then be able to put that whole frozen section back into the store in like one transaction? And no, you can't do that.
Can't do that.
So
my thought was, well, let me try this. So my thought is, if the algorithm is being designed and created around suppressing low dollar items, and maybe even sellers who sell X amount of low dollar items, if you will. Again, we don't know details on how and what is being done exactly. I'm like, what if I take my half of the store that's $5, bump them up to $10? What would happen? Chances are they're not going to sell, but will that help the algorithm in some way? If my store is now, half of my store has doubled in value.
Will people see the higher dollar, or will his placement show
Will the
more?
placement be better on
Right.
those items, even though they're higher dollar? Will it help drive more traffic into the store? What could that do? So what I did was, and then I can add on to that over time also. And the secondary thought I had, which I will try later on, is instead of marking the store down 30%, or in this case, these low dollar items that I'm marking up from $5 to $10, I can run a coupon just on those categories at 50% off, so that it doesn't bring down the value of the store, but the customer can still get it for that lower price. So that's down the line. So first what I did is I changed everything and bumped it all up. So what I did,
Promoted changes too.
yeah, and I bumped the promotions down. I bumped my promoted down from 15 to 12 this morning, and I went in. I haven't done all of it. I've done, I think, all the cassettes. I think all the CDs are done. I still got to do probably half of the DVDs and half of the vinyl. That is like $5. So I'm bumping all that up to $9, and I picked $9.95. Why I picked that is because I have nothing in my store at $9.95. So I want to see, will these items sell at $9.95? Will an item that I had at $5, now that I've raised the value of my store and the value of these items, will those get better placement on the eBay algorithm, and will they sell? Will somebody just on the app who's looking for a quick buy, bing, 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 check out and be done, will it sell at $9.95? So at like 9 o'clock this morning, I'm sitting here on the little Google Chrome, and I am Chromebook, and I'm changing all these.
And I'm sleeping.
She's getting ready, and I'm doing all this. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna see what happens. So what happened? Well, while we were out, I had 2 items sell at $9.95. So 2 of the items that I picked, I put from it was $4.20 with the 30% off. So $4.20, I bumped up to $9.95, and 2 of them sold.
Was that because they were seen? They're better seen? It's something you can't tell. But if we start to see more of the 95 ending, then we're going to have a better idea of, people can see that. So maybe that's a plus when it comes to placement. vision.
And also too, I think it's kind of slowed down now. Before I end this video, I'm gonna walk over to my book and give you final numbers where we're at right now and the time we're at. So while I'm out, after doing all these changes, if you've watched my videos, you know I've always preached 5 by 5, $500 by 5 o'clock. That's where I used to always be, and I'm trying to get that back. So at 4 o'clock, I had $411.
And we're an hour ahead too, so that was.
I took that into play. It was 5 o'clock here.
4 o'clock.
So 4
in St.
o'clock
Louis.
there. So I took all that into play, but I think since then it's kind of gone back down. So I'm gonna go check the numbers. But so that's the experiment I'm gonna play with. Can having half of my store that was low dollar, can I use that to my advantage within the algorithm system to bring up my placement, if you will, overall? And of course, that's going to take a couple of days just to get going.
But this is not to say this is the answer to the algorithm and how things are sold and seen and placed on eBay. This is just a thought, a hunch, an opportunity to try something new.
And everybody who watches knows that I'm always playing around with this stuff. So this is a new direction, something I never thought about. Normally, when you think about how can I sell more, well, I'm going to lower the price, right? If I want to sell more, I'm lowering the price so it'll sell more. So thinking totally outside the box, well, hell, I want to sell more. Let's raise the price and see if it does.
Well, it gave me a better idea too, just at some of the thrift stores, the pricing on Christmas ornaments, a bag of 5 or something like that. I have a ton of nutcrackers. I've been collecting them, and I had no idea that the value of them is more than what I anticipated. And I can find them anytime, any day, anywhere. I'm going to put mine up. I probably have about 20 different ones that I've collected just at the bins or at the Goodwill or at the, not the Salvation Army, but the, what's the other place bins we go to? St. Vincent's bins, but whatever it is. And then this is my punch time, quick start. I have sorted and organized at home ornaments, and they're going in bags, lots, either 10, 12, 20, or a bigger package that's themed. So if it's a particular color, and I have particular garland that color, and I've got ornaments that color, and maybe a tree skirt that color, it's going to go in one big lot, and then I'll be able to put a decent price on it, $25, $30 or whatever. Most of the ornaments that I've gotten have been at all the bins for the most part. Today and yesterday there was quite a few, but I didn't pay more than $2 for a whole box of them. So,
all right, to give you some context, this past week I've sold per day 23 to 36 items per day. So it's been in between there. So 23 items out of my store. What the hell, right? You've heard me say it a million times before. Also, the organics, extremely way down for a consistent amount of time. You've heard me say before where it'll drop to like 5 one day, but then it'll jump back up to the one day we ended up being like 25. But this whole week, my organics were between 4 and 8. 9 was yesterday. So only 4 and 9 organic a day with no more than 36 items. And that was only in one day. I had a 36, 29, 28, a 31, 26, 23, 25, 21. So been very low. So after making those changes this morning at 4 o'clock, I had $411. We are now at 5:45. I'm still at $411. So still had that shut off at that time, that always seemed a thing too. But the difference is I'm already at 20 items sold and 7 of them are organic. So we're at least going up on the organics on the higher side, depending on how the rest of the day turns out. But yeah, like I said, we're just hours into this, so there's, this is going to be an overtime thing. Usually it takes a couple of hours before the algorithm really starts sinking in, or a couple of days before the algorithm starts really sinking in. So I'm curious to see changes when it comes to impressions. I am showing my promoted, all my numbers have been in the red, but right now my promoted impressions have jumped up a tad, where it jumped up 1%. For a week that everything's been in the red. Let me see. And I'm already at 631,000 total impressions for the day. And we're going on 6 o'clock. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours left in the day. And I am only getting, this past week, my highest was 1,081,000. But I've been sitting mostly at about 900,000 range. So I'm already at the 631 right now. So we'll see where it ends and then see what the next 2 days. Obviously Monday, when I get back to normal video making and such, you guys will get an update on this situation and if it has changed anything. But either way, just having, for this month as a whole, November, so we're 8 days into November is what I did, not today. I've only sold 3 per day of my $4.20, 30% off low dollar media. So if you look at that, that's maybe what, $6 profit right there on those 3 items, $2 a piece, right? So $6 profit on those items. So I'm like, you know what? I got nothing to lose bumping these up to $9.95. Well, being I already sold 2 of them today, and my profit's probably going to be $6 to $7 a piece on them. I've already doubled my profit.
Yeah.
And instead of selling 3, I sold 2 and doubled my profit. So if that continues, we'll see. I've got tons of media, so I don't know. We will see how it affects the account as a whole. But that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to play with. And then obviously we'll run this probably through the end of the month. If I'm getting great responses, I'm not going to do that 50 off of the 9.95s. I'm not going to do it. There's no point in doing it if I'm getting the numbers I want to get. But if there's no change, then that will be the next test, is put the coupon for 50% off my low dollar items and see if that does anything. Because that's the thing too about the sale, the way eBay's changed. When you put an item on sale, it used to be bright red showing that there's a sale when people scroll eBay, where it doesn't do that now. You can barely see it. But if you give a coupon, you get the red banner that says
and it
X
comes
amount
to
off.
you in an email notification as well that your seller
I think it
or
does.
whatever is offering this or what have you.
Also too is that not everybody would use it, because if you're on a mobile app, some people just check out and not even put in a code. They'll just check out. So
one last thing for all you people who've not been to the Smoky Mountains during the holidays. We timed it because we tried last year to be able to come down for the Pumpkin Fest and then do the Christmas one. So I never had that kind of days off of work. Yesterday we went to Dolly World for Dolly World. She's got 1,000 different parks and resorts and whatever out here, but we got to see the Christmas lights, the trees, and if you've never been, it's definitely worth a trip.
All right, that's where we're at. That's what we're doing, and you'll see more detailed on the stuff when I make the videos for the Urban Picker channel.
Let's pack.
And got a lot of packing to do. Got to get all this stuff in the truck tonight so we can just get up tomorrow and get it moving. On the way home, I'm sure we'll hit more thrift stores if I have room. If we don't have room, we're just going to drive straight through and just say screw it. But if we got room, I'm sure we'll stop at places along the way. So,
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you all in the next video. Later.